It's me, Ariel from the Passion Community, and today it is the big Anime Jam Lower Analyzing of 2024. To begin with, there's gonna be a timeline explaining all the events that are related to Phantoms and not the event where the game adds something that isn't related to the Phantoms, just to mind you there. After the timeline, there's gonna be two sections of theories. The first one will be about the past events and some things that I think will happen in the future after October or very far in the year of 2025. Or just some simple theories about something that is happening right now. The second section though is about predicting the Night of Phantoms 2024 based on the hints and also how I think it will happen based on my own logic. So, to begin with the timeline, it all began in 2017 when Club Jewels got destroyed by the Phantoms in October by some boost of light and dark energy, I think. The light side and the dark side actually was in 2017, but it was kind of hidden. But yeah, it was in Club Jewel's destruction. In 2018, in November, we got the portal to the Phantom Dimension. In 2020, in October, we got Gemma, Mount Trevor, and Temple of Geo's evasion by the Phantoms. I said destruction, but also an evasion at the same time, because I think there was a lot of Phantoms that got out of the sort of holes that got into they got into the free lands. I don't remember a lot, but you can tell me in the comments if it happened or not. But it was a sort of Phantom evasion. In October 2021, the Phantoms invaded the Phantom portals that were at the Jammer's Den because it was a time where the portal in the Temple of Zeus disappeared. So we have to buy the Phantom portal to get into the Phantom Dimension. And in October 2021, this happened, the Phantom Invasion. It was based on a lot of messages that Phantom King were passed through the Phantom Dimension, if you want to know the hints, that this could happen. In 2022, in May, we got the corruption of the Mera statue by the Phantoms, and this is a comeback from the evasion in 2020. The Mera statue got into the ground of the Phantom Dimension, and now we got a corruption. But right now, the Mera statue that we have in Jamal isn't the real one. The real one, I think it was taken by the Phantoms, so now they have more power. Also, in June, July, August 2022, the Phantom invasion was in Mesoterra, and it happened again in 2023, around the same time, July and August. In October 2022, the Phantom Ice Caverns in Mount Trevor appeared, and in 2024, we got a memory from this event in April in Crystallis. In October 2023, we got a Dark Side vs Light Side battle in Jamal close to the fountain, and we had another one in the Temple of Zeus in November 2023. In June, July, August, September 2024, we got the Phantom Dungeons in Crystallis, and I have a lot of theories about that one in the video, so check that out. And in October, as you can see, there's nothing, because there are gonna be predictions for October, and we're also gonna be lore analyzing. So this is what I'm gonna do now. The first section, just like I said, is the past events and how it could affect the future. We begin to the keys to the past and the future events are in front of our eyes, and we don't even notice them. I will see it directly. The keys from a lot of events that happen is because of the Phantom Dimension, Light Side and the Dark Side, and Crystallis. Let me explain. If the Phantom portals from here weren't existed, we haven't had the Phantom invasion in portals in 2021. If the Phantom portals weren't existed, The event that happened in 2021, October 2021 to precise, when it happened. And also, if Chrysalis didn't appear, we haven't got the Phantom Dungeons. Simple thing. And if we hadn't had the battle with Light Side and Dark Side, Chrysalis couldn't have appeared. Logically. But Light Side and Dark Side was there from the beginning in 2017 when Club Jewels got destroyed. So Light Side and Dark Side is like the main thing about Jamal. That is the key from a lot of events. But the Phantom Portals is the second oldest thing that is actually affecting a lot of events. Because of the Phantom Portal that got appeared, there's a lot of evasions that happened. And I don't think the alphas don't think much of this. And then with Chrysalis appearing by now, well, Chrysalis was always into the game. If the world Dreamworks haven't thought about it in the past, logically, Chrysalis is a element of it too, because Light Side and Dark Side is in Chrysalis, and it got affected around Jamal. So that's something that I thought that might be a key to. Second thing, how the evasion of 2020 and 2021 affected the events after them, and also the event in 2018 with the Phantom Portal affects a lot too. I haven't said it in there, but the event in 2018 with the Phantom Portal affects a lot too. But the Phantom Invasion in 2020 and 2021 affected a lot of events that happened after them. It's like the Mirror Corruption. If the Invasion of 2020 hasn't happened, then the Mirror Corruptions wouldn't happen. And also, the fact that the Phantom Portals got open and a lot of Phantoms got out, we haven't got the event of the Phantom Invasion in Mesoterra, the Phantom Ice Caverns, and the Dark Side versus Dark Side. If the Phantom Invasion 2021 haven't happened, the Phantom Dungeon and Chrysalis, though, I would say it's both 2021 and 2020. Because 2020, it was a lot of holes that got opened, like in Jamal, Mount River, and Temple of Zeus. But if we haven't got that, I think we haven't discovered the Phantom Dungeon, because the Phantom Dungeon is in Chrysalis, which Chrysalis is just under Zeus. So the hole of Top Zeus was just under the statue of Zeus, which means that Chrysalis got affected too. That's a lot, I know. But you say, how 2020, 2021 affected the Phantom Dungeons? Let me explain. If the Phantom Portal hadn't existed, as I said, the Phantom Dungeons wouldn't happen, because it's the Phantoms who invaded the Phantom Dungeon by some energy from Jamal. And if the Phantom Portal wouldn't existed, we wouldn't be able to do that. Boom. And now, this comes from, do the Phantom Ice Caverns relate to the Phantom Dimension? My response to this is yes. Because if you go to the Mount River in the Phantom Dimension, you see there's a monster in one of the caverns. And Mount River, if you know what I'm talking about, is the cavern. When you go into Mount River, like in the normal dimension, when you go in the cavern, you see that ice wolves can go inside the cavern. It's the same cavern that I talk about in the Phantom Dimension. In this same cavern, there is like a sort of monster blob with just one eye, and you can give pink seeds so the monster can give you prizes. Now, there's a downside to this. If you give too much pink seeds to the monster, they could invade in certain part of Mount River, which is under us, which is the ice, where it got broke. And this monster here kind of reminds me of that blob in Mount River. Kind of reminds me. And it's weird that it's in the same area where that blob lives. Is there a coincidence? I think not. It's intentional. Because this is like a form of the phantom blob. And since it's a montrover, then the form will kind of have a winter vibes from it because it comes from montrover. If the phantom blob will be from, crystal sands, then it didn't got like the ice things. It will be more beachy vibes, if you know what I mean. It will be more normal. But since the phantom blob lives in montrover, then it will have some ice because it's cold in there. And the monster here comes from under the ice, but we get a certain form of we see in certain part of his body in monster a different dimension. So that's my response to this and how it proves. And everyone, how light side and dark side work in Jamal? I always thought of, hey, how it works in Jamal. Well, there's a simple response to this that I think I have to explain a lot of times so that you guys can understand my simple response. Let me hear this out. In a world that is only light side, dark side isn't here. It's just light side. That means that the wrong things that could get into the world couldn't be destroyed. The wrong thing will destroy the light side. If light side has also dark side to the world, then dark side can destroy the wrong things that could get into the world. That's how I think it works. Light side needs dark side to work, and dark side needs light side to work. In the Phantom Dimension, there's a lot of dark side. There's also light side, because the light side keeps the world in place. Yes, in Jamal, there's a lot of light side, but the dark side keeps it in place, because it destroys the wrong things. In a world there is a lot of dark side, the light side heals the things that are too much into the dark side. Dark things that could be too much and could crumble the world. Then light side can heal this dark thing so that the world can keep in place. In other words, Joma and Phantom Dimension aren't equally light side and dark side energized. They're all like certain balance. Like in Jamal, there's a lot of light side. It's light side that rules, but dark side helps light side to keep it in place because it can destroy the wrong things. While in the Phantom Dimension, light side helps healing some things from the dark side that could make it crumble. And Chrysalis is the only world that light side and dark side is equally here. Light side and dark side work together as we were partners, but real close partners. Let me explain. Chrysalis isn't invaded by phantoms, even though it's to the phantom dungeons. We don't talk about that. Chrysalis is like very balanced, and even though the phantom dungeons in here, it's like Chrysalis isn't affected by it at all. Well, the reason is that light side and dark side is equally here in Chrysalis, which means that something dark that happens, then light can be equally in place, so that the dark side can keep it in place without destroying Chrysalis at all. It's like light side and dark side work together in Chrysalis to keep it in place inequally, while in Jamal and in the Phantom Dimension isn't equally because it's how it works. Light side and dark side works differently in uneven worlds. That's what I'm saying. Light side and dark side works differently in different worlds so that they can keep in place. Because there are certain energy in the Phantom Dimension that Jamal doesn't have. And there's a energy in the Jamal that the Phantom Dimension doesn't have. And we need both light side and dark side in all the worlds so that they can work. If there was a lot of light side in the world, we need dark side. If there was a lot of dark side in another world, we need light side. It's always like that. They work like partners, but the level of partnership between light side and dark side doesn't work the same in all of the worlds. That's what I'm saying. Even though it's not simple to understand, we need to understand this way because it's logically like that. So the next thing we need to talk about is why really quit of being alpha. I know it's like very, harsh to go to our next story, but we need to talk about Grilly now. Why really quit of being an alpha? Well, my response to this is that Grilly wants to know more about the light side and dark side. He wants to know how it works in Jamal and the film dimension. So when he goes on an adventure alone so that he doesn't get judged by the alphas. Bada bada boom, you got the answer. I know it's a quick theory that I have, but I don't need to go further. Just like this, simple. He quits so he cannot be judged in his adventure to know more about light side and dark side. For me, it's logically like this. Okay, the next one is also related to Grilly. Why Peck went along an adventure and what motivated her to do it? Well, for me, the reason she went on an adventure alone is not being judged by the others, but to keep them safe from her adventure. Because she knows that her adventure can be dangerous, and she doesn't want the other alphas to get hurt, so she goes on the adventure alone. But she hasn't realized that she can get hurt too. That's one thing. But also, what motivated her to do it? Well, what motivated her to do it is Grilly, because she has said in the past that she's tired to not see Grilly. So her motivation is Grilly, but also to find other things about light side and dark side, exactly just like Grilly. Simple response, we don't need to go further. Why and how did the Phantom Dungeons appear in crystals? Sorry guys, it's gonna be a long minute. I need to go to the bathroom. Sorry for the interruption, but I got to go to the bathroom. It happens. Okay, so we need to fuse. Okay, sorry for the long pause. It happens. And before we continue, I need to drink water. Just 1 minute. I have a water bottle next to me. Okay. Now, why? And that's why I want to talk slowly here. I don't want to talk too long. Why and how did the film dungeons appear in crystals? Well, my theory of why and how did the film dungeons appear in crystals will be related to the film dimension. You know, the film dimension got created by the phantoms, and the phantoms created it by some dark energy of them and by collecting some rocks together and probably some phantom group to create the phantom dungeon. The phantom dimension portal. And well, it is the same for the phantom dungeons. The phantom dungeons got created by the energy of the phantoms, of course, and also from the dark side energy, but also from rocks that they probably collected to do this open area here, and then with their dark energy and being balanced by the light energy, they created the phantom dungeons. Which is why the film dungeons is permanently in here, because light side and dark side created the film dungeons, so it is meant to be here. Which follows to the next theory, which I'll say it here. Why the authors haven't think of that? Why the film dungeons are permanently here? Well, the reason I'll give is that the film dungeons is light side and dark side energy at the same time. You actually see it when you play Phantom Dungeons. You play as light side and dark side to defeat the Phantoms. And even Separated said that this fight isn't for the Phantoms, but for our friends Peck and Grilly. And they know that it's light side and dark side. We need both to defeat the Phantoms. But what if the Phantom Dungeons was created by the same energy, light side and dark side, which is why it's permanently here. Which probably follows to the next theory. Oh yeah, what I was thinking. How Grilly's retirement affects the event of the Phantom Dungeons is exactly what I said. Grilly will think of this. Why the Phantom Dungeons are here permanently? Grilly will go further into this. He will go get some information from the Phantoms so he could get talk to us about how the Phantom Dungeons got created. And also why the Phantom Dungeons is created. I haven't said it in the theory before, but I'll say it now. Why the Phantom Dungeons was created by the Phantoms is that they know that Peck and Grilly isn't here. So if they created the Phantom Dungeons, they then could distract Silverbird and Lisa from saving Grilly and Peck, and while they're distracted, then the Phantoms can capture Grilly and Peck and using their energy from something they'll say later in the video. So, this is how Grilly's retirement affects the event of the Phantom Dungeons. And how it affects because Grilly has a mind. He uses his mind to go on adventures to know more info about the Phantoms, but also about some stuff that is happening around Jamal. And he can talk to us about why and how it appeared here and what we should be aware of. And in the Phantom Dungeons, the authors, Silverbird and Lisa, haven't said to us what we should be aware of with different dungeons. Well, Grilly could say it to us. If he was there, he will go further into the film dungeons and he will say to us what we should be aware of with this thing. I can't say really what should be aware of, but Grilly could say it, He could say how he thinks film dungeons is and why it is here. Without Grilly's philosopher mind, then the film dungeons is permanently here and we can actually defeat it. But with the help of Grilly, if he was there, he could know how to defeat the film dungeons without it to disappear, but without it to affect us. Bada bada boom. Which follows the next theory here. How powerful the films are. And I mean, how are they powerful? Well, when I got into the film dimension a couple of days ago when the update was there, I noticed that a little phantom, a phantom like the shopper, in Double of Seals. The film you come by to buy some potions in Double of Seals, this exact film, has said something about partnership and workership. This made me think of how powerful the films are. But it isn't exactly him that makes me think of it. How powerful the films are, well, if you want to know, the film dimension, the film portal to the film dimension, is how it makes them powerful. Because without the film portal, the films couldn't get into Jamal if it couldn't do some things that they have done. Also, how powerful the films are. Well, one film isn't powerful, but if he gets a lot of energy from Jamal, he will get powerful. But also from my theory, what I said about this shopper in Temple of Zeus, not the film you come by to buy potions, he said about partnership. So it's a mixture of that. The films work together to be more powerful, but they also get some energy from Jamal to be more and more powerful. And this is how powerful the films are. They work together to actually do a lot of stuff, like the Mirror Corruption, the Phantom Portal, the Phantom Invasion in Mesoterra. Wait. The Phantom Invasion in Mesoterra. If you got just one Phantom in Mesoterra, it will be quickly destroyed. But with a lot of Phantoms in Mesoterra, it's difficult to defeat them. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but I think the Phantoms work together to be more powerful. We work their capabilities, their weaknesses, their strongness, their strength. We mix their strength, capabilities, and weaknesses together so we can get more powerful. So we can destroy Jamal and the Germans easily. So this is how I think it works. And it depends on the shopper in Tablosius too. I got information from him that I think this is how the films work together. And I'll see it more, and I'll say more about that shopper in the video. So stay tuned. And I think it goes, and now it goes to the Night of Phantoms 2024 plus Hints of What's Coming. With my theory about how powerful the Phantoms are, it will get deeper into that section. I don't know when it's the first theory, but is the Halloween 2024 event going to be in Christus? Well, my answer is definitely yes. It isn't for nothing that Christus appeared to Jamal. We could get an event in there. And how we could get an event? Because of the Phantom Dungeons. The Phantom Dungeons could get an update in October for Halloween, which we should be in the Phantom Dungeons to save Peg and Girly. But also, those 3 portals in there. What could they be used for? more than just memory portals. Wait, did I say memory portals? Exactly what's gonna happen. Those three portals will open in certain times to open through Halloween memories. It will go to least insane to most insane throughout October. In the final moment where they open the three portals, it won't be in memory. The phantoms will corrupt the 3-4 portals to open through something that we never have seen before. I can't say what it is, but I know. Wait, if the phantoms can corrupt the Mara statue, they can corrupt the 3 portals of Chrysalis too. They could make them all open at once, and we will see something insane. My theory is that we will see Peck and Willy in one of the same team from minigame, or a monster could go out through the 3 portals, body parts of a phantom monster that comes out from the 3 portals, or those 3 monsters that come out of the phantom portals. And third of all, it could be the phantom dimension. It could be another phantom dimension that they created so that we have to save Peck and Willy. And well, the next phantom dimension that we can create from the 3 portals will be created by the energy of Peck and Willy. If they capture them, they will use their energy of Peck and Willy so we can create the 3 monsters that I've said, and also create the next phantom dimension if it's not the monsters that are gonna be a update. But it's gonna be so cool if it was the 3 monsters that will come out in certain times from different portals, or it will be another phantom dimension throughout the 3 portals. And then explain this. My theory about the monsters, well, there's gonna be only one monster, but it's gonna come out from the 3 portals at a certain time. You could imagine today this portal opens, there's a monster is gonna come out, and it's gonna close. Tomorrow, this portal opens, the monster comes out, we need to play a minigame to defeat it, he comes back, closed. Tomorrow, this one's gonna open, monster comes out, we play a minigame to defeat it, he comes back to the portal. It's similar to the event in Mesoterra, when it's in a certain amount of time that the phantoms were invaded. I think it's the same with the 3 portals. 1 minute. Water break. So, the 3 portals will open in certain times so that the monster comes out and will need to defeat them. Similar to the Phantom Invasion in Mesoterra, because in some time the Phantoms invade Mesoterra. I think it could work with the Phantom portals too. The monster comes out in certain times. Or with the next Phantom dimension, we create it with the power of Peck and Willy, but also their own powers of the Phantoms, and we create the next Phantom dimension with it. And we will need to destroy the Phantom dimension because it could corrupt Jamal. Bada bada boom. I think I predicted the 9 of Phantoms 2024, but I predicted with some elements that I think could happen, and I have more with just one theory. Because never of them can happen, or one of them can happen, or both on some of the theories can happen, or all 3 could happen. But I think it will be impossible because I said that my theory about turning memories from the past Halloween events, or a monster comes out of 3 portals in some times, or it will be another Phantom Dimension throughout those three portals, and we'll discover them during the end of October. So yeah, this is what I think could happen. Also, Crystallis reserves something big for us, and it's technically what I said with the other theory. Crystallis reserves us another Phantom Dimension, but also, as you can see here, the Crystallis will have a boost energy from the dark side, since the Phantoms will create some things from the dark side. What will happen is that Crystallis will have a boost of dark side. We'll have more dark side than light side, which means that the Crystallis could get corrupted, and we all need to save it from the boost of the dark side energy, which means that the Phantom Dungeons could get stronger too. We need to think about these, guys. We need to think about these. Isn't for nothing that Phantom Dungeons get created. The Phantoms are thinking about the Night of Phantoms events since June 2024. Since June. We're thinking about it. Another water break. Sorry for that. Yeah. So what I was thinking is that light side and dark side will have a problem in October, since dark side will have a boost, which means that Crystallis can get corrupted, and we will need to save Crystallis from the boost of the dark side, so it can get equally with light side again. And the Phantom Dungeons, just like I said, isn't here for nothing. The Phantoms have planned something for the Night of the Phantoms since June. They have planned something for the Night of the Phantoms since June. They created the Phantom Dungeons so they can corrupt Crystallis. And how they will corrupt it? Well, just like the Phantom Portals in 2021, all the Phantoms will come out of the Phantom Dungeon. They will get in Crystallis over here. And then with the energy of Peck and Grelly and the dark side, they will create something with the Phantom Portals, which will create the other Phantom Dimension where Peck and Grelly are trapped. Yeah, I have a big mind about the Night of Phantoms. I have a big mind. I have a lot of theories for it, and I hope one of these theories will work. So, which leads to Lisa and Graham know that we need Peck and Grelly ASAP, and why? Well, why they know that we need Peck and Grelly ASAP, because the Phantoms will invade again in Night of Phantoms 2024, but in Crystallis, and they know about it. And since Grelly and Peck are disappeared, they're now panicked because they need them in SAP for the Night of the Phantoms, and they don't see them anymore. So we're like, whoa, we need them in SAP if they're not here. And they know that they can get corrupted in Night of the Phantoms. And then at the end of the day, Peck and Grelly will get corrupted by the Phantoms. They will get trapped into their next Phantom Dimension. Bada bada boom. We got an answer here. And next, we will save Grelly and Peck in October, and this is what Hint said. I'll read what is here. I can hardly stand the wait for news from Peck and Grelly. Is my threatening wife. And here, I'll admit, this year has been a headache without Grelly and Peck, but we can lay down till we're back. And this is what Hint said. If it wasn't about Peck and Grelly, they wouldn't say that. Guys, always explore the game when it's on September. They could get a lot of hints from Night of Phantoms, and these hints that we'll need to save Growly and Peck in October from whatever it could be. We will need to save them both. And my theory is to save Growly and Peck for the Phantoms. Definitely. And next, the Phantoms hear signals. What are they? Plus, how they signal each other and what they tell each other. Let me read this out here. Whenever too many Phantoms try to signal each other, it makes it hard to think for myself. Here, hearing some interesting things through the signals. Now, the big theory comes in. What are these signals and how they tell each other and what they tell each other? Well, since it's something they hear, it means that those signals could get from their electricity and also from their speak language, like what, the speak language that we can understand. That's only the Phantoms that understand each other. Exactly that. The signals is through the electricity and their talk in their language. And how they signal each other, like I said, it's through the electricity. And what are those signals? What are those signals? Well, those signals comes from electricity, and how they signal each other is by, throwing some electricity from the Phantoms, and this is how they tell each other. They actually transferred some electricity through the Phantoms, and what they hear is what they say through the electricity. And what they all tell each other? Obviously about Peck and Growly, guys. Obviously, it's Peck and Growly. They talk about these two. They talk about that these two have disappeared for a while. And since we know that, then we will plan something for them. If we'll plan something bad, we all know. And this is when I think they could talk to each other. They talk each other about Growly and Peck. And they also tell each other about the plan of capturing them and what I said any other theories. Corrupting crystals. Bada boom. I just answered this question. Well, any questions? Okay. Now we need to talk about something that I said I'll talk. This Phantom points out something right and also proves something about Phantoms. Let me read this. The Alphas aren't looking so tough these days. That's what happens when you don't work together. I just say it out loud. I'll read it again. The Alphas aren't looking so tough these days. That's what happens when you don't work together. This made me think a lot. This thing. It also proves that the Phantoms know more about partnership than the Alphas themselves, because the Phantoms are working together to do the Phantom evasions. Bada boom. I just analyzed what he said. It points out something right. The Alphas, since they don't work together, they aren't looking so tough. It's like this Phantom says. This Phantom knows that the Alphas need to work together to defeat them. That's why we're taking advantage of this situation, because we know that all the Alphas are separated. So we'll take this advantage to actually hurt them during the night of the Phantoms. Bada boom. I just predicted something. Since the Phantom knows that they don't work together, we'll take that as an advantage to actually work all the Phantoms together to corrupt crystals. And since Venom really isn't there, they take that as an advantage too, to throw out some weird stuff into Jamal, like the scrap notes. Cosmo has said that the scrap notes aren't coming from Peck, What else it could be coming from? Grilly? Or the Phantoms? Because it hasn't said about Grilly. Perhaps the scrap notes come from Grilly or the Phantoms. But Cosmo has said something about the running too. It said that the running is so strange, it's like a rash. And what happened in 2020 in the invasion? They invited us to a party, and the writing was so strange that we wouldn't be able to read it. What if the scrap notes come from the Phantoms? They tried to distract the Alphas by misleading them where Peck and Grilly are from the scrap notes. They all work together to send them. The Phantoms are gonna take an advantage of that. Definitely. And they know the Phantoms need to work together to do the Phantom invasions, so we will do it again in October through Crystals. And also, according to that Phantom, the Alphas need each other. And it's exactly what I said, so we will go to another, but the reason what I said there, this Phantom knows that the Alphas need to work together to defeat the Phantom invasions. What I exactly said. Also, we don't believe it obviously, but sure we really don't believe it. Look what it says. Plans for the night of the Phantoms? Nothing, obviously. Well, this part isn't merely a theory, it's more like a philosophy moment here. Let me just do a water break. Okay, this will go deeper here. This Phantom says that we don't have plans for the Night of Phantoms. And I've said obviously a lot of stuff that they can do for October. It's obviously here. But this Phantom says that we don't have plans for the Night of Phantoms, and we don't believe it obviously, and we should don't believe it, but should we really? Yes. The Phantoms could plan something for Night of Phantoms, but what if their plans get hardly backfired? And why? Because Peck and Grilly's energy is typically stronger than the Venoms. The Venoms will try to handle those two energy. And while trying to handle those both energy, those two energy will explode. They'll boom, And with the boost of Grilly and Peck energy, the plan can get worse. And since the Venoms won't plan about the two energy exploding, then the Venoms will panic. They'll be like, "Oh no! What we just did? What the hell is going on?" Yes, we work together, but we wouldn't think about that. Grilly and Peck's energy are very strong. They are stronger than the Venoms. So if they take Peck and Grilly's energy and they will try to handle it through the next plan, they could get hardly backfired. Yes, we have planned something for the Venoms and Chrysalis, but at the same time, we won't plan about the two energy exploding and corrupt Chrysalis all over the way, and the portals in Chrysalis could get hardly corrupted by the mixture of energy and Venom energy together, which is why the films could probably work with us in October so that we could save Grilly and Peck and also save us from the boost energy that is too hard for the dimension, obviously. And this is what I have for this part here. Oh, the next one. Graham points out something right also, and why we should take attention to that. You know what I said, like, oh man, this year's been nice, I give up without grilling pick, but we can lay down till we're back. The reason why we should take attention to that is because, like I said, in the past through theories, Peck and Grilly could get captured. So if we don't take attention to that, this could happen. And obviously the jammers won't take attention to that, and even the alphas won't take attention to what Graham will say. So something will happen to Peck and Grilly, obviously. And why we should take attention to that is because of that. We need to keep in mind that Grilly and Peck could get captured, and we could meet something worse. In October, it's like I said through the past theories, October could be an insane month this year. Oh, another theory. We will need the dark side to save them, and here's why. Well, I technically said that we will need dark side to save them, and how we will need dark side to save them is through the Phantoms. Since the Phantoms are the one that created this sort of dark boost energy in crystals, we will need their help to actually stop this dark side energy, because we won't be able to defeat this dark energy, because the light side is strong enough to actually heal this dark side energy. So we will need the Phantoms to stop this energy to save Peck and Grilly. And I technically said why, because the dark side energy that we'll see in October will be so big that the light side from Jamal won't be able to defeat it. So we'll need the help from the Phantoms to actually stop this dark side energy, technically destroy it, so that the world couldn't be crumbled. And here's why. I think it's the end. Oh no. Finally, if the event is in Chrysalis, it will affect Jamal, and here's why and how. Well, like I said, if the event is in Chrysalis, it will affect Jamal, and here's why and how. How it will affect Jamal is that Chrysalis is just under Temple of Seals, but it's also under Jamal, because Jamal and Chrysalis are related from the energy, which means if Chrysalis is corrupted, then Jamal will have like a sort of earthquake, and everything will crumble. And why it will affect Jamal is, like I said, because they're related. I just said it simply how and why. How is because the earth, like the land of Jamal, will kind of have an earthquake, and then Darkseid will kind of roll over it. And why it will affect Jamal is because it's related to Chrysalis. So, what do you think about these theories? I know this video could be longer than I thought it would be. But we need this video for October, and also from the other events that might happen in Animal Jam. And a lot of this that I said actually makes sense. Even though it sounds insane, all that I said could make sense. You know, what works if you're watching this video, I might give you some ideas. Give some ideas at the same time. But yeah, all of the theories, even though they sound insane, they actually make sense, because with all the hints that we've been given from the game that channels don't take attention, except for me, needs to be said. All my theories needed to be said. because a lot of genres that could come across the video will say, oh, it makes a lot of sense. And they will think more about my theories, and when October will come, yes, I'll be surprised about the update, but I'll be surprised because I knew about those things. If the things that happen in October are the thing they'll say. Which ends this video here. I hope that you guys will like this video because it's a long video and I took my time to write all of these theories, think about all of those theories, and say all of these theories. And I hope that you guys will agree with me. But if you don't, send your own theories in my comments below. I might take them and think of them and say if for me it will make sense or not. It's okay if you don't have the same theories as me, but I would like to know about them in the comments below if you don't think the same as me. Also, share this video with a lot of jammers that you know that we need to think about this. Subscribe to this channel to see more content, especially in October with a lot of stuff that could happen, especially with Animal Jam. Hint, hint. And also, comment down below about your opinions of this video, or comment down below about your theories. Like this video. And all that said, thank you guys for watching this big video for September. And all that said, see you to the next video. Bye guys.